So, thanks to your work in Sidonia, I'm told someone here has leaked information on Project Dominion to our adversaries at Infinity Ltd. A mole within the company means a failing in my department. We're initiating Security Directive Theta, which means a full sweep of every employee in this building, Masako and myself included. Your job is to infiltrate Ryujin Tower as an anonymous outsider in order to run this program completely off the books. This means your keycard will be turned off, and the security guards in the building will consider you to be trespassing.
神龙集团的任务意外的长，但是现在跑这个是对的，因为最后意外获得控制人心的超能力。
You got an appointment? 'Cause if not, consider this area reserved. Oh yeah, Dalton's little errand runner. I've written up a program just for the occasion, but as Ryujin knows, it's yours for either a price or a favor. While you're snooping around in the tower, I just need you to hit up one more workstation on the way. It's Camden Chose. Just run the same program on the slate I'll give you, and you're good. It's that simple. That's between me and another client. But you can bet if someone wants something in old Camden, it's not because they like him. Let's just say, it's nothing beyond something that Ryujin would do to anyone else.
We have something called integrity. You should try using it sometime.
Suit yourself. So why don't we get back to that payment? And should he? Nothing's for free, you know. Cost is a given. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's not. I do get an awful lot of business from you folks. I hear you. You know, part of me could find some wiggle room. All right, you win. No wonder Ryujin hired you. A pleasure, as always. Your job is simple. Just run this little beauty on Ularu Chen's computer, and the program will take care of the rest. Once you're done, bring the slate back to me at my place. Whatever encryption Ularu has is bound to take some real work, more than my little setup here can handle. It's nice to see you know more than just sneaking around and talking a good game. Here's the slate. I'll be waiting.
并且拿到一套特工的服装，被察觉的难度提升25%。基本上，神龙集团的任务都是这种潜伏的方式。
So, you made it. Guess Ryujin's security really is slipping. An old pro, huh? No wonder Ryujin likes you so much. Now, I'll take that program back that I gave you, and let's give the data a look. The program I gave you to run on Ularu's computer basically opens an all-access backdoor for me. I can see everything and anything, so let's take a look. Ularu has some impressive encryption on her files. Not that I can't crack it, of course. Circumventing protections, running decryption. This should just take a moment now. Damn, I'm good. That went faster than I thought. I'm saving several files to a slate for Dalton, including access history and anything related to Project Dominion. Adding in new encryption for him as well, so he's the only one that can view these. And done. You're all set. I've got the new encrypted slate. Let me tell you, it looks like fun times ahead for Ryujin. Technically, I'm not supposed to look, but it's kind of hard to not see what's going on while running all my software. Since you came through on your end, let's just say that slate isn't going to paint the best picture for Ms. Imogene Salzo. But bear in mind, you're dealing with some pretty talented people when it comes to falsifying information. I can be sure because I know my business. But like anything, evidence alone can't tell the full story. The rest is up to you and Dalton to piece together. And don't be too sure about that. Imogene was practically raised in the corporate underworld. I'd almost guarantee there's intent behind everything she does. Here's the slate. As usual, always a pleasure doing business with Ryujin.
I assume you were successful. I didn't get any incident reports last night, so I applaud your work. I figured as much. Lucky for us, he doesn't have any motive to use this information against us. Now, let's see what we have here. It was possible. But someone's been accessing Ularu's files remotely. It's quite a complicated trace, too. I'm impressed Nix was able to track all of this. Damn. And there's our culprit. Imogene Salzo, Senior Operations Specialist, and one of the few I had in mind for who could pull this off. Well, the motive could be anything. Credits, grudges, even boredom. Well, she has the means and access. But things are rarely so cut and dry.
Imogene? She doesn't seem the type. But maybe that's her tactic. If she had me thinking that way, perhaps it proves that she's a master manipulator.
Well, before we make any harsh decisions, I'll need to question her myself. I want you to head to her office and escort her here. We have to make sure she doesn't try anything before I have a chance to speak with her. I just want to avoid a scene. Sending you keeps the rumor mill at bay. If she runs, the guilt will be apparent. And you'll have no choice but to dispose of her. As much as I'd like you to subdue her and bring her in, Imogene would never allow it. She knows what fate lies ahead for those who betray this corporation and get caught. Good. When you're dealing with corporate workers, discerning the truth from the lies is the hardest part.
Try not to harass my techs too much. They have work to do. Let me guess. Looking for Imogene? I'm sure you can tell by now. She isn't here, which is a shame since I have several documents I need her to sign off on. She's always been the master of avoiding desk work. She hasn't stepped into the office since the maintenance closure, probably abusing her paid time off again. I know for a fact she doesn't have any external meetings or business trips. Well, that desk work is what keeps your cred stick full, and this company 2 steps ahead. So why are you looking for Imogene? Is she in trouble? Aren't you the boring one? I have Imogene's last location at Frankie's Grab and Go, which we all know is a front for the Sioka Syndicate. You'll want to get executive sign-off if you plan on chasing after her. I'd say Dalton is your best bet.
Perhaps we need to get Dalton's permission to relieve ourselves as well. Good lord, this corporation keeps you on a short leash.
Is there an echo in the room? Yeah, Frankie's is a front. Crap convenience store on the outside, high-tech hideout on the inside. Of course, the only people that really know that are Ryujin Bayu and the Syndicate itself. Your guess is as good as mine, but she's up to something. I could tell she was trying to cover her tracks, but this is my job. And there's a reason I'm in charge of the technicians here. Good. I'd hate to see what sort of drama might get stirred up if you went around him. Or maybe I'd love it. Keep the workplace interesting, right? Word of advice. If you're planning on foregoing authorization and just tiptoeing your way to Imogene, park your friend at the door. Two's a crowd if you're trying to lay low. Good luck finding Imogene. Oh, and if you do catch up with her, be sure to let her know I had everything to do with it.
No Imogene, I see. Could she really be onto us already? A good question. But with her abilities and connections, the possibilities are too many to speculate on right now. We need to find her first, and address that issue afterward. Of course, Yuko would know. If Imogene's with the Syndicate, I can't just send you after her. You'll need to speak with Benjamin Bayu. We have to make sure he's aware of the situation. If we're lucky, he may even help us get to Imogene. Bayu owns the Sioka Syndicate. For you to walk in there without discussing it with him first could be seen as a violation of our business relationship. Good, because without it, this adds a complexity that we do not have time for. Head over to the trade tower and be discreet. Let Bayu know that you're there on Ryujin's behalf. He may ask for credits or even a favor. Just give him what he wants.
Sounds lovely. Could we requisition a towel so we can wipe off all the slime after dealing with that repulsive man?
It shouldn't be for anything unfamiliar. Bayu is a businessman. Any favor he may request wouldn't be far off from the assignments you've already completed here. The sooner, the better. We don't want to give a clever mind like hers any more room than we have to. Just be sure to bring her back here in one piece. If she's truly the mole, she'll have a lot to answer to. If she resists or tries to run, we have no choice but to take it as an admission of guilt. I'm afraid you'll have to dispose of her.
Dispose of her? As a valued member of your corporation, she at least deserves the opportunity to explain herself.
Imogene may be a valued operative here, but that's what makes her equally dangerous. We're lucky enough to have her position now. But should she disappear, we may never have another chance.
Don't tell me a corporation like Ryujin isn't prepared to track a rogue operative throughout the galaxy.
Of course we're prepared, but the expenditure would be great. Our chances of finding her would only decrease with time. So elimination is the most efficient path. It's something I hope our mutual friend here will understand as well. Matters like these are handled within the corporation. The information we're dealing with is too sensitive for law enforcement, and their security leaves much to be desired. It wouldn't be long before the information was either leaked to the press or sold to yet another competitor.
I'm glad you're willing to give Imogene a chance to speak for herself. She deserves that much, at least.
The risk of Imogene continuing to operate as a traitor is too high. If we don't dispose of her now, she could cause a great deal of harm to this company. She knows the consequences of betraying Ryujin, which makes her dangerous. If the situation does take a turn for the worst, I only ask that you perform a thorough search for any evidence she may have in her possession. I trust you won't let your past relationship cloud your judgment.
I don't recall sending for anyone. What do you want? A heads up. You're telling me you're heading into my own territory. That's not how this works. First, you tell me why, and then if I'm satisfied, I'll graciously grant you permission. As long as it doesn't involve the Syndicate members themselves. I'll tell you what. I'll make sure the Syndicate lets you in hassle-free, provided you do a little something for me. Excellent. One of the Syndicate leaders, Kumio, has a slate with some information on it that's better off in my hands. Agree to bring it to me, and you've got yourself a deal. Isn't that why we're here? To make each other's lives easier? Check in with Ms. Moore at Frankie's. I'll send word along that you're to be expected, so she shouldn't give you any trouble. Fair warning. The Syndicate should let you search any common areas. But if Kumiho catches you snooping around her own quarters for that slate, I'll just say, be prepared for some hostilities.
Need something? You lost, kiddo? Sure. I just don't get too many quality customers here. Most folks head over to Newell's or the Emporium if they've got the creds. I'd say less than half my customers are legit. The others are just kids up to no good. Oh, so you're the one getting special treatment. Don't look like much to me. I've got one rule for you in there, so it shouldn't be hard to remember. Third floor is off limits. They catch you snooping around, and it's open season. I'm more of an honorary member. I let them take up residence in the back, keep things looking legit. They keep this business afloat, so finances don't keep me up at night. Don't worry, she wouldn't be allowed up there either. For the record, I'm only granting you access because I have to. You'll find that young lady you're looking for holed up in a room almost straight ahead. Just remember to keep your eyes on the prize. The less you consider this an open house, the better.
I'm worried about the food they're eating. Eating nothing but obese ramen.
到这边事后我就发现任务有点走错了，应该先去找 Imogen。
Hold it right there. You aren't allowed on this floor. Yeah, right. You're in our territory here. The only way you get a private tour of our personal space is if you're dead. We may have had a few dealings in the past, but that doesn't make us friends. Now beat it. If I catch you trying anything again, I'll introduce your face to a few bullets.
For a bigger cut next time.
Hold it right there, Op. I need you to back down and give me a chance to explain. I had a feeling you'd be the one to come after me. You stay in this business long enough, you get enough favors and connections that can help you see anything coming. Nix owed me a favor and gave me the heads up. Yes and no, but mostly no. Just hear me out, okay? I know this doesn't look good, but I had no choice. Ularu set me up. Yes, I've been acting as a double agent, but because she ordered me to. The assignment was meant to deceive, not benefit. And Project Dominion is way above my pay grade. It'd be impossible for me to deliver it. At least, intentionally. Look, I only know about Project Dominion because I wanted to know exactly what I was being accused of leaking. But that tech is dangerous. An internal neuroamp that can theoretically control other people? If the evidence points to me, it's because Ularu used it to set me up. What better way to frame someone than to take control of their mind and have them actually perform the actions? Power, of course. Corporations maintain their success by any means necessary, but there are some measures Masako is reluctant to take. You may have noticed that none of your assignments directly involve murder. Masako reserves those actions only when it's absolutely necessary. Ularu sees this as a sign of weakness that needs to be dealt with. Because she knows I'm the most believable target. I'm the only one at Ryujin with the skills to even come close to being able to pull off a job like this. You want evidence? I've got it. Ularu has the skill to pull this off, but she's also been behind a desk for years now. I knew she'd miss something. This slate holds all the evidence against her. I just need you to deliver it to Dalton. It's the only way I can prove I'm innocent. That may be the case, but I can't have Ularu thinking she'll come out of this unscathed. This evidence will cast enough doubt that she'll never make CEO. So, at the very least, we'll both be ruined. It will at least change things for Ularu, and my situation is already at its worst. I'm going to lay low here until I get a clear idea of where I stand. I can't have Ularu getting suspicious of being exposed. But in the meantime, thank you. I know you don't have to do this.
Ah, Ryujin's latest returns. I trust you've got what I wanted? I'll always say the best thing about working with Ryujin is you never fail to come through. Things aren't always flawless, but the end result is always beneficial. The alternative wouldn't have benefited anyone. Now, I expect Dalton to send me any updates on this little situation of his. He knows I don't like surprises.
You're back. And Imogene? Our trust in Imogene is certainly compromised. It would take a lot to bring her back into the fold. But now you're saying Ularu may be involved? Well, this complicates matters.
You can't vouch for its accuracy, but you can use your intuition.
Well, this evidence complicates the situation if it points to Ularu. It's going to take me some time to pass, because if it's legitimate, we need absolute certainty before making the accusation. You realize, if Imogene has misled you, she'll be long gone by now. Now, I need to undertake the laborious task of writing up a report to summarize all of this. In the meantime, Masako has requested your presence in R&D. She wants you to meet her in Vinakara's office. Masako's been focusing on how to deal with Infinity Ltd. And their knowledge of Project Dominion. I believe her plans rely heavily on you. Just take the elevator down to Research and Development. You'll find Dr. Kara's office to your left as you enter the floor. Vina's the head of our Research and Development team. She's the creator of Project Dominion, and often considered the protege of Ray DeCaris, Ryujin's founder. Not that I enjoy it, but I wouldn't trust anyone but myself with these reports as it is.
I need that Rothosite if we want to complete the neuroamp.
I'm just concerned the entire station was wiped out by... something.
Don't worry, we'll figure it out and get that shipment back. Good, you're here. It's time to put a plan in motion to take full control of this situation with Infinity Ltd. In due time. We don't know to what extent Infinity has taken the current neuroamp schematics, so our top priority is completing our own. Let me introduce you to Vina Kalra, Head of Research and Development. She'll give you the initial details.
Yes, details. You see, the internal neuroamp is supposed to consist of two parts. The first part, the part Infinity stole, handles the manipulative effects. The second part is a shielding modification designed to protect the user against other neuroamp users. Well, we can't, but the shielding aspect was never officially a part of Project Dominion. It was an afterthought of how to safeguard our own people from being manipulated, so it was being researched separately as a mod. The research itself was in early stages, too early for board approval, so only myself, DeMarcus, and Masako know about it. Big time. We'd be the only ones unaffected.
No one wants their greatest asset used against them. Once Vina can complete the internal neuroamp and shielding mod, the plan is to outfit you with both and have you infiltrate Infinity Ltd. We can't risk the assignment until we know your mind has the necessary protection.
I think implanting that device into your head is a mistake. But it's your choice, not mine.
You're a Ryujin employee, and we need a job done. We've trusted you this far, so I feel it's safe to continue the trend. We expect our employees to do whatever it takes to ensure Ryujin's success. Consider this an opportunity, not a risk. Besides, you're in good hands with Vina. Good. That's all I wanted to hear.
And all I need is the last piece of the puzzle. The final kink in both designs was finding compatible materials to use for conductivity that the human body wouldn't reject. I've finally created the perfect alloy, but it requires a newly discovered refined element called Rothosite.
Which is where I come in. We have a confidential contract with Consolidated Mining to gather, refine, and ship the Rothosite straight to us. Their last shipment is late, and neither we nor Consolidated Mining have had any communication with the Carinay station. My thoughts exactly.
We need you to head out there, secure the shipment, and bring it back here so Vina can complete her prototype. And I want to know what happened. We need to take any safety measures to make sure this doesn't happen again. Good. Feel free to deal with any resistance however you see fit.
The mining station is CM Station RC-1. It's on a moon called Carinae 3A in the Carinae system. The shipment should be in the research and control tower, but the outside doors are kept locked down. This keycard will let you enter the mines so you can access the tower from the inside. Good luck.
Ready to land, Captain.
Very much we can survive at this low of a temperature.
They're gone! Shoot to kill!
For you.
Target located. Engaging.
Show me what you've got. More of this! Not gonna last much longer.
Search the perimeter.
下一个目的地，星际诊所。
Cycling airlock, ready to disembark.
This area's off limits. Authorized personnel only. An outbreak? I haven't heard anything about this. Understood. Here's an access card. Good luck.
Sean, I don't want to go over this again. I'm tired, right? Just not today.
You can't be okay with this, though, right? You took an oath. I'd say this is a firm violation.
Look, we got that shipment. Although who knows what Faye expects me to do with it. But maybe approvals really are on the way. Now please, get back to Kai. Make sure his vitals are stable. I don't want to lose him. We'll figure this out. I promise.
Fine. But if we lose Kai, that's it. I'm going to SSNN. I don't give a shit about my career anymore.
You and me both.
I'll never get out of this.
I'm not ruining my career over this. Excuse me, but this is a restricted area. You need to leave. Checking up on us? I feel like we should be the ones checking up on you. What do you want? Of course you do, because daily reports simply aren't good enough. The third group, like the others, failed to take the internal neuroamp, all resulting in death, with the exception of one, currently comatose. Sean and I are hopeful we'll be able to revive the subject, but until we receive proof of human trial authorization, any fourth group will be refused. Don't act so surprised. Infinity is well aware. In fact, I remind him of those statistics in every report I send, which happens to be daily. The standard response is always, failure is to be expected, but keep pushing forward. Well, there's a level of brain activity that keeps us hopeful. Making sure that man lives is our #1 priority. Yes, and if they can't handle that answer, I wish them good luck in finding someone else willing to do the work under these circumstances. Now, anything else I can help you with? Oh yes, refine rothicite? As if I have the proper tools here to create experimental metal alloys. I was hoping that was a mistake. That will save me the trouble of writing yet another complaint. It's on the table. It's all yours. Anything else? Then we're all in a lot of trouble. This means everything we've done here at the clinic has been illegal, and we'll all be tried for murder. Let's just say I was blinded by my own determination to restart my career. I'm pretty sure my feelings in the past are why Infinity hired me in the first place. They knew I'd be desperate to regain the respect of my peers, and failure would mean utter ruin. Now that's a naive question. The clinic is either being paid to turn a blind eye, or Infinity is doing all they can to prevent them from knowing. Good. Now if you'll excuse me, work to do.
Nice to catch you in the office.
Just hand Vina the shipment so we can get on.
Is that my beautiful shipment? You were right about this one, Masako. 100% pure, though. When it comes to the brain, we don't want to take any risks. Now, I shall excuse myself and get to work on finalizing this prototype.
I hope
So,
I'm keeping you busy.
what did you learn about CM Station RC-1? The mercenary group? Only that you mean business if you hire them. They're not known for subtlety, and don't care if they leave a trail of bodies in their wake. I take it they were at the station? Lucas must be desperate if he hired them to collect the Rothicite. Were there any survivors? Sicking ecliptic on a station with nothing but miners and scientists? Corporations can sink low, but this is a new level. Now, I also had a report that you were spotted at the clinic. I take it you traced the shipment there? Dr. Lane? I believe Vina is familiar with his work, specializing in neurosurgery. Were you able to determine what he was doing at the clinic? The clinic serves all, but it can't be denied that they require credits to run. In most cases, the clinic is also the best choice for research. Not everyone has the resources to have decent medical facilities like us on site. So, it sounds like Lucas has reached a new level of desperation to ensure his future as CEO.
To hell with corporations and CEOs and profit margins. People have died, and you aren't showing the least bit of remorse. Ugh.
I'll make sure Yuko's team extracts every bit of information they can from the clinic's database on this. Between hiring Ecliptic and unauthorized human trials, we have enough to take Lucas down for good. And with the Rothicite secure, it's almost time for us to make our move. Not long, according to her. She and DeMarcus have everything prepped and ready. I believe it's just a matter of creating the alloy and molding it according to her design. It certainly is. And it's also time to inform the rest of the board on the current situation. Head up to the executive floor and speak to Dalton. He has an update for you on the mole's identity. I've called a meeting, and I expect you to attend. It's time to put the final plan in motion.
Good. You're right on time. I re-evaluated all the evidence. It took every resource I had, but the final answer is clear. Ularu is the mole.
I had a feeling Imogene wasn't responsible. That poor woman.
In due time. I'll be reaching out, but right now we need her to remain in hiding. Indeed. I've briefed Masako and discussed her plans on handling this. While we both agree Ularu is guilty, we need irrefutable evidence before presenting this to the board. For now, we lead everyone to believe that Imogene was the mole, and the situation was dealt with.
Must that poor woman's name be continuously dragged through the mud? These nonsensical decisions need to stop.
It's a means to an end. We'll make sure Imogene is properly exonerated and welcomed back with open arms if this plays out our way. Masako has tasked Ularu with writing the program to bring down Infinity Ltd. We believe she'll take the chance to incriminate Masako within the program, so this could provide the evidence we're looking for. You will be tasked with the assignment to infiltrate Infinity, so before you go, I want you to bring that program to me. If I can't find hidden code on a single slate, I certainly deserve to be fired. Ularu is limited in what she can hide here. Plus, she'll have no reason to believe anyone will be looking in the first place. Then we'll have to find another way to build a case against Ularu. And it won't be easy. Good. Once Ularu believes she's properly deflected any suspicion, I've no doubt she'll be bold enough to hide something within whatever program she writes. Now, let's attend a meeting. We called you all together to discuss a recent security breach. We discovered a mole within the company who leaked vital information about Project Dominion to Infinity Ltd.
You've got to be kidding me.
Just don't tell me it's Vina. I think we've all noticed she's not here.
Before you speculate any further, no, it's not Vina. The guilty party is Imogene Salzo, much to my disappointment. Our operative here obtained the evidence to confirm it.
Dalton, how does something like this happen?
Imogene is highly trained. Ularu can even speak to that. We demand the best. So that's the threat we deal with.
I may have well-trained operatives, but security is your responsibility, Dalton. This is a huge failing on your part.
I accept the responsibility, but let's not forget, the mole has already been exposed and dealt with.
Of course, thanks to another of my operatives. I know you're not insinuating that this is my fault.
Imogene's been dealt with, so bickering is pointless. All I care about is reacquiring our property and what this might be costing us financially.
Vina is completing the internal neuroamp prototype as we speak. Our operative will receive the implant, infiltrate Infinity Ltd, and obtain any and all research. I have it on good authority. The experimentations they've done to replicate the missing pieces of our work have resulted in fatalities.
Botched human trials and murder for hire? You don't bounce back from that. At least not with Infinity's legal team.
If I may make a suggestion, we should give this evidence to David at SSNN. It's the best neutral method of releasing this information to the general public.
That'd make my job easier.
David it is, then.
Misako, the internal neuroamp is ready if you want to send down the candidate.
I hope you're ready for this. Good. I can tell Vina is going to enjoy working with you. Vina will be waiting for you in the neuroamp division in R&D. Once you're done, meet me in my office. Be ready to discuss the details of your next assignment.
Double check those measurements are right. Anesthesia always makes me nervous. Ah, here's my lucky candidate. I hope you're ready to embark on one amazing journey. The internal neuroamp is basically the next leap in our line of influential amplifiers. It gives the user dominion over a less dominant target, meaning you can heavily influence another person's thoughts and actions. Technically, that remains to be seen. It's not legal, but those decisions will be left up to a higher power who is neither you nor me. The risk mitigation alone will be completely worth it. So, are you ready to get started? Neurosurgery is my specialty. I've performed more operations than I can count on a wide variety of brains. So I like to think that I'm wildly overqualified. Really, I could do this in my sleep. Oh, don't worry. That's not on the agenda. Now, just a few details before we begin. Obviously, we'll be putting you under. I'll be making a small incision in the back of your skull where the internal neuroamp will be fitted. The whole procedure should only take 3 to 4 hours with little to no downtime afterwards, provided DeMarcus got everything entered correctly.
Did I not just say I quadruple-checked the numbers?
You know I'm just giving you a hard time. Besides, I've got to make sure my patient is reassured. There's little to no risk, assuming your brain is typical and you don't have any adverse reaction to the anesthesia. First sign of trouble, we back out and start evaluating other candidates. You're gonna be fine. All I'm saying is that you're in good hands. Now, just lie down on the table once you're ready, and we should be good to go.
I hope you know what you're doing. I worry about you. Be safe.
You appear dehydrated. I suggest the immediate ingestion of a moderate quantity of water.
All right, let's get this party started. Well, look who's finally up. The operation was a success, obviously. Once you're able to refocus, let me know how you're doing. Hey there.
I have performed a cursory scan of your vital signs. You are
So, how are you feeling? You look good? Huge success. No surprises, no signs of rejection. You were the ideal subject. Now, we just keep our fingers crossed and hope no unknown side effects come creeping in later. Yep, that's me every morning. But the whole point of this is no visual indication and no adverse side effects. So, sounds like we're on track. Just a couple quick notes before using the internal neuroamp. First, you can only influence one person at a time. And second, the effect is temporary, so be prepared if you use it in a combat situation. Let's just say it varies based on the user. Some people have greater mental capabilities than others, which would increase the duration. Now that's something to talk to the drone engineers about. Now let's test this sucker out. DeMarcus has graciously volunteered for science, he says. Our preliminary testing was rigorous enough that there's little to no risk involved here. The biggest unknown was finding the perfect compatible alloy for the implant. We've had the tech itself working externally for quite some time. Please, we're not Infinity. We believe in due diligence when it comes to tech like this. But, just in case something does go wrong, we've got him locked up in the test chamber. DeMarcus loves being hands-on and experiencing things on his own. It's probably why he's the second most published scientist here, after me. Just head up the stairs nearby to the observation deck.
拿到一个控制人心的超能力，不知道未来是不是在说服上面会有更强大的功能。
One minute I was excited about seeing how the experiment would go. The next, I had a brief moment of disorientation and figured I must have lost my train of thought. It felt eerily natural. And yes, I admit it, just as you predicted.
I knew it, I knew it, I knew it! I can hardly wait to finish writing up my latest dissertation. And you owe me 100 creds.
I'll be keeping myself under constant surveillance now. I'm curious if any other side effects may manifest.
So, tell me all about it. How did it feel? Any side effects? I'll take that as a no on the side effects, and that toy you love so much is very powerful, so use it wisely.
Yeah, toy is hardly the word I'd use to describe it. It really was fascinating how all I experienced was a moment of disorientation. It's truly remarkable tech. Not at all. But I can imagine if I experienced disorientation like that, but regained my awareness in another room, it could be a bit jarring. We'll definitely be running some more tests in the future, though. So many situations to account for. Maybe that's the beauty of it. You'd never know. Besides, the neuroelm isn't total control. If a subject's morals or beliefs in something are strong enough, we still see points of failure. That being said, it's been interesting to discover the actions our subjects sanction in their own minds.
Okay. As much as I'd love to go over the details and potential of this amazing piece of technology I created, Masako wants to see you. It sounds like you have an assignment to complete, and DeMarcus and I have a lot of notes to record.
Good, you're here. I wasn't sure how accurate Vina's promise of no downtime was going to be.
Let's just hope her promise of no brain damage holds true as well.
Now that you've been outfitted with the internal neuroamp, it's time to put that tech to work. We're sending you into Infinity Ltd. Lucas Drexler is about to learn exactly why you don't steal from Ryujin Industries. All right. Yuko has provided a layout of Infinity Ltd. You have two options for this assignment. We'll be providing you with the means for both. Option A, you gain entry through their maintenance access on the roof. Option B, we give you an assigned identity and arrange a meeting for you. Option A, you need to remain under the radar the entire time. Option B, you have a slight cover that may give you the opportunity to talk your way to your objectives. Of course not. The meeting is just a legitimate way in. Once inside, you'll be led to a waiting room, where your host will be running late. That's your opportunity to make your way to either the executive floor or R&D. Yes, the less people you need to interact with, the better. Ideally, none at all. Now, depending on your preference, you'll either find yourself in the maintenance hallway or the marketing department. From there, you have 3 targets. First, you have Lucas Drexler's computer, located in his office on the executive floor. Second is Faye Sengsavan's computer, in research and development. And third, you need to obtain the prototype they are working on, also in R&D.
As you can see, you've several floors to traverse, so I hope you're prepared for an adventure.
Any mercenary or disgruntled worker can go shoot a place up. You're a Ryujin operative, so start acting like one. Now, I had Ularu create a program that you need to run on both Lucas and Faye's computers. I'll let her explain the details.
You see, once we expose Infinity Ltd, all of their data is going to come under intense scrutiny. We only want the public to know about their mercenary hires and unauthorized human trials, but Project Dominion needs to remain confidential. I've created an overseer program that will gather all the evidence we need, and at the same time delete anything relating to Ryujin and the internal neuroamp. Anyone who comes forward to defend Lucas would be prosecuted as either aiding or being an accessory to these crimes. They all know career suicide when they see it. As for Lucas himself, if he wants to speak up and add corporate theft to his laundry list of crimes, fine. But who's going to believe him? With tech like that, I can see why you'd want to maintain control of the narrative, though I strongly object to the methods.
If the media were to draw their own conclusions, I'm certain they'd just create a panic among people. Controlling the narrative is of the utmost importance.
Oh, let's just hope this program is as thorough as you say then, and as safe. No, we don't want to mess on this one. A body count will only distract from what we're trying to accomplish here. In fact, unless they're a master at being one with the shadows, I'd suggest you leave your friend behind. Lower the risk. Simon Rychek provided some useful info on how to evacuate civilians from the building. I'm sure you remember him from Sidonia. Infinity's maintenance crew is understaffed. It's only a matter of time before pressure gauges go unchecked and they have a massive issue on their hands. Once that pressure becomes too much, every floor in the building is going to suffer from gas leaks, setting off an automated alarm to evacuate the building. Simon was able to get a passcode for you to access their system's computer, so you can force the heating system to fail. I'm told security has masks to handle the situation, so the guards will still be stationed in the building. It's also possible they'll activate their building's defense system as well. You may run into a few automated turrets, so you'll still want to try and stay out of sight. If the information Simon provided is accurate, you can reach the control systems through a computer located in the maintenance area. It's a pretty convenient stop if you enter in through the roof access. That old man's going to be around for some time to come, especially since I heard you helped him get rid of an old thorn in his side. We're also issuing you an operative suit. It should help reduce their ability to detect you. These suits are typically reserved for the senior ranks, but we want to reduce as much risk as possible. Just make sure you follow through on that statement.
Once you've run the Overseer program and obtained the prototype, your final step is to deliver the slate to David Barron at the SSNN field office. If he asks questions, feel free to give him just enough information to pique his interest, but no mention of Ryujin or who you are. SSNN is used to anonymous tips. They'll do whatever verifications they deem necessary on their own to confirm the story. Ularu assured me it's safe.
The Overseer program will purge itself once its primary function is complete. The only thing left on that slate will be proof of Infinity's crimes.
It doesn't matter what he believes. David's first move will be to verify the information you provide. Once he receives confirmation, which he will, he'll see it as his duty to report the news. Good. I guarantee the moment he scratches the surface on that story, he'll have a broadcast sent to every system. So, any final questions before you go? You'll be restricted to the marketing floor. An appointment is not a free pass. You have the ability to manipulate others. If someone's in your way, you could get them to move. If someone has a key card, that means you have a key card. The possibilities here are really up to you. Depending on whether or not you evacuate the building, you'll mostly be looking at security guards, much like we have here. You may encounter an automated defense system in the form of turrets as well, so be careful. Good luck, and be sure to report directly back to me when you return.
Here's Simon's passcode, your operative suit, the Overseer program, and your cover identity. Your cover ID card is encoded with roof entry and elevator access, so that's your ticket in, either way. Don't screw this up. Skylar Lumen?
Do you have the program? I'm certain Ularu won't pass up this opportunity. So, let's take a look. Aha! The decryption's hit a snag. There's definitely something here. This is exactly what we needed. According to this code, Ularu intended to plant false evidence that would show Masako was working with Lucas. The moment you launched the Overseer program, a series of fabricated communication files would have been uploaded to the Infinity Ltd network. One of them even frames Masako for encouraging Lucas to push for early human trials.
First Imogene, now Masako. Ularu keeps using people as rungs on the way up the ladder. Any one of us could be next.
I'm going to copy the necessary files off this slate and issue you a new one. I want to keep this one intact, so Ularu can't dispute it. All right. Now, we finally have the evidence we need to prove Ularu's guilt.
Good. Then let's nail Ularu right to the wall. She deserves everything that's coming her way.
There's no doubt. Should you have even noticed the upload, the program itself is designed to ignore any stop commands. It would have been too late. This evidence is indisputable. To deny it would be to admit involvement. And then we'd have a much larger problem on our hands. Just remain focused on your assignment. Without that falsified evidence, Ularu is in for a big surprise. I fully expect she'll be eagerly awaiting SSNN's broadcast, anticipating Masako to be accused alongside Lucas Drexler. Here's the new slate with the revised Overseer program. Let's get this assignment finished the right way.
detected. All non-essential personnel must evacuate the building. Please find the nearest exit and contact emergency services.
糟糕，被发现了，赶快跑，用冲的了。耶，用跑的成功了，终于跑出来了。
We're close to the action here in New Atlantis. Prime position to report on the big stories that affect the United Colonies. Can I help you? All right. You've got my attention. What's this so-called story about? All right. I'll take a look. I don't suppose you want to tell me how you got this evidence. Of course. I just hope your source is as reliable as you think they are. Is there at least a name I can cite as my source? Why am I not surprised? As long as the evidence is adequate and verifiable, I expect it'll be aired within the hour, if not sooner. Now, if you'll excuse me, I obviously have some work to do.
I've yet to hear anything of note on SSNN. Let's hear your report. Good. David won't be able to resist a story like this. He'll do some preliminary confirmations, which will be enough to get the broadcast out to the public. And how did the neuroamp perform? I thought it would be. So now it's just a waiting game for SSNN to break the news. Once the story airs, we have another board meeting scheduled to decide how to handle Infinity. Go ahead, Maeve.
The SSNN broadcast has started. Shall I patch it through?
Yes, thank you.
Infinity Ltd. and Lucas Drexler are currently under investigation for a number of violations, including murder for hire, unauthorized human trials, and corporate theft. Authorities representing the UC and the Freestar Collective have been dispatched to a consolidated mining station and the clinic. Both locations are believed to hold numerous victims. Drexler's motivation appears to be an attempt to launch a new product based off stolen information from a competitor. The details on the project itself and the competitor have yet to be confirmed. This has been David Barron for SSNN.
Perfect. This exposure puts Infinity right where we want them. The meeting will begin momentarily, but I want you to discuss the options we have with the other members. Infinity's net worth is about to hit rock bottom. So this gives us the opportunity to win a little more public faith. Quite right. The truth is, we'll be making evaluations. We'll shed any employees who don't make the cut, slowly but surely. By incorporating Infinity, we eliminate a competitor, get their best employees and contracts, and all while boosting our public perception. I'm glad we're on the same page. Which is why I'd like you to talk to the board to convince them this is the right move. There are several who might disagree, and you have the perfect tool to help sway them. Yes, that's exactly what it's designed for. The bright side being, they'll never know. With the tech we've given you, I expect promises. You'll find most of the board members in their offices preparing. Vina is also here, waiting for the meeting to start. We'll need at least 50% of the vote to go our way. In the event of a tie, I will make the final decision. I trust you'll get it done. All right, everyone. As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd's botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is demanding their leadership, namely Lucas Drexler, face trial, and he's probably writing his resignation as we speak. Ryujin will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Believe it or not, I agree. The acquisition has risks, and it's going to create a lot of work for all of us. But the overall payoff will be worth it.
That and Infinity Ltd's current situation makes them more affordable than ever.
Arguments? None? Excellent. Moving on, then.
I think what we're all overlooking is what led us to this situation to begin with. Yes, our security was compromised. But considering Dalton was hired by Masako, the issue obviously starts at the top. In fact, I propose that Masako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power, it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Masako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly, Ularu, you're fired. Security will hold you in your office until a proper exit interview can be done.
This isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
Security, escort Miss Chen to her office and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
Good. Alexis, start drawing up the necessary documentation. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up? Any other matters to bring forth? None? This concludes our order of business for today.
If only there were more hours in the day.
Shelving the internal neuroamp. Not the outcome I anticipated. Yes, very unfortunate. Especially with all the tools at your disposal. The truth remains, Lucas Drexler learned a hard lesson, and we exposed a traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin. I suppose it is. Gratitude isn't something you typically hear these days in the corporate world. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time. I hope that enthusiasm sticks with you for the foreseeable future. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it. Considering you've come this far, I find that hard to believe. As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you.
You've certainly shaken things up around here. I still can't believe Ularu tried to frame me. An obvious misjudgment on my part. But now that's all in the past. It's time to get back to your typical day-to-day. And I'd say it's good to be back if I hadn't returned to a mountain of paperwork. Now, since you were new, you've been dealing with people, but most of our assignments are generated on the mission board. The board holds any available assignments that our techs have pieced together, and I've approved. Questions? No, but try to see that as an improvement, since I certainly do. The mission board is more efficient for both of us. I wish. Assignment approval isn't exactly riveting work. With your promotion, you've earned yourself an office, so whenever you're ready, you can find your own personal mission board inside. And the best perk of them all, you're free to make your own hours. Oh, and congratulations. Of course. No, only within the tower. The security risk would be far too much to allow access to that data in a public space. You certainly will. Go check out the board, and if you have any questions, I suppose I can start up an open door policy. Just for you.